Welcome to an outdoor smoking edition of Two Dudes Cafe. Me, Jeremy, my son Achilles is going to bring you a special outdoor smoking baby back rib recipe. Now today we're going to be cooking these baby back ribs outside on the offset TNT smoker. Now once we get these seasoned up, we get our smoker hot, we're going to throw some maple wood. That is our secret. A lot of people use mesquite, pecan, hickory. The secret is that sugar maple. And on pork, it works great. Achilles is going to bring to you a special homemade pinto bean recipe, and we're going to top all of it off later with some southern style Texas toast. So let's get started. What I have here is a couple racks of baby back ribs. Some people call them loin back ribs. We call them baby back here in Oklahoma. What we're going to do is season this up with some dry rub. We're going to let them set here, draw some moisture out of that meat, so it'll make a good bark once we put it on. Now, a lot of people, including myself, use yellow mustard. This is simply only as a binder. This is to help the seasoning stick to the meat. Now what I'm going to do is season both sides of these racks of baby back ribs. Now, you might ask what's in our seasonings. Well, that's a secret. But it is a simple salt, pepper. It's got a little applewood chips in here. And like I said, we're going to season both sides. Also on these baby back ribs, we chose to remove that membrane that's on the back side. Sometimes when you go to restaurants where they're cooking, dozens of racks a day, they don't, because it is kind of tricky and time consuming. But it does free that meat up a little bit, have a little bit more tender. Now once we put these ribs on the smoker, we're going to do the 3-2-1 method, which means we're going to introduce it to the smoke unwrapped for 3 hours. We're going to wrap it up with a special recipe of some more spices and juices. We're going to cook that for about 2 hours wrapped up in aluminum foil. You can also do it in butcher paper. I just prefer aluminum foil to get these really good and tender. And then once the 2 hours up, to go to the 3-2, finally the 1 is we're going to unwrap them. Hopefully by then the bones will be about to pull out of the meat, super tender. And then we're going to have some St. Louis style. We're going to glaze it with some barbecue sauce, and we'll be ready to plate this up. So go ahead and finish this up. Now you may ask, why did you put mustard? Once you taste the mustard, you will absolutely not taste any of the remnants of the mustard. Don't ask me how, ask a chemist, I don't know. But the mustard is just basically a glue for the seasonings to stick to the meat. Now, we got that just about seasoned up. We're gonna let this set. We're gonna get our fire going, and we'll be back at the smoker.
Welcome back, YouTube. Here we have our brown bean recipe. Now we're going to put in a ham hock, which has those fats and those little bits that provide the flavor to the beans that you just cannot get in a dill seasoning. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Now, we're gonna put in about a pound of pinto beans. About 3 tablespoons of butter. Some minced onion. Some seasoned salt, some pepper. Now we're going to put in some water. Now, if you like your beans more juicier, add more water. If you like thick beans, don't add as much water. Now that we got everything in there, we're going to put this on low for about 6 to 8 hours to make sure that the beans get good and tender.
Now we're out here at the smoker getting ready to put these baby back ribs on. Remember, we're doing the 3-2-1 method. 3 hours uncovered, 2 covered, and then 1 back to the smoke. Now, before we put these on, I want to make one point. Is when you're out here smoking, maybe you're new to the smoking game, here's a quote that I heard from Aaron Franklin. The way that I learned to make good barbecue is making bad barbecue. Don't be afraid. Ribs are sometimes intimidating to get them tender, get them flavorful, but you just got to keep practicing. Hopefully today these racks that Achilles and I are doing are going to turn out where they're just fall off the bone. So Achilles, let's get them on. Now what I have here is an offset smoker cooking about 225 degrees. We're going to get these on. Like I said, we're going to leave them just like this for about 3 hours, and then we're going to get them wrapped up, cooking with some oak and maple, sugar maple. If we could smell that on YouTube, it already smells good. So 3 hours on the smoke. It's been 3 hours, so let's go ahead and get these baby back ribs wrapped up. Some people use butcher paper to wrap these up. I use aluminum foil. What it does is once you put the ribs in there, Achilles, put a little bit of this sauce, and we'll talk about it in a second. It almost steams and tenderizes that. So let's go ahead and get this one rack per. Now what I do is I go ahead and wrap up 3 of the sides. We try to make these, I try to make these as airtight. If we're going to kind of steam them in its own juices, we got to make it as about as airtight as we can get it. And then the fourth one, what we do is we take this mixture. Now what I've got here is about 4 or 5 tablespoons of butter, a pretty good heaping of apple juice and sweet barbecue sauce, and kind of warm that up and just get a little consistency. And we're just going to pour that in that aluminum foil. We're going to put about half on this rack and about half on the other. And then we're going to get them sealed up. Kelly's going to grab us maybe a towel, a paper towel, or clean up our mess a little bit. And you can see once we put those all together, it almost forms a little tent inside there. We're just going to repeat on the second one. You want to help wrap this up for me? Put it even. And how you do this is all up to your personal preference. Some people will really pack it down tight. I like leaving a little bit of an air gap. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of this sauce in there. Made a little bit of a mess. We're going to get this sealed up. We're going to put these back onto the smoker for about 2 hours to let these tenderize. After that, we'll unwrap and let them dry out. So back on the smoker. 2 hours with these baby back ribs wrapped up in the aluminum foil. What Achilles not going to do is for the last hour, we're going to get them out of the foil, put them back on there, let the smoke kind of to dry them out just a little bit, and baste it with some barbecue sauce. Now we can't be afraid of the smoke if we're going to be on the smoker, kids. Okay, take a look here. You see the steam coming out. Oh my goodness. So Achilles, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to pick up this rack of ribs. And I bet it's so tender it's going to fall apart on me. Pull that aluminum foil out from underneath it. So go ahead and pull it. We're just going to set that back on there. I'm going to do the same thing. You might dump it a little more here into the smoker because it drips on your toe. This is rack number 2.
See, we've got some pullback. I don't know if we can see that on the camera, but we got our bone pullback there on that one. That's telling you that it's just about done. Same thing here, Achilles. I'm going to poke a hole in your foil so you don't have as much juices coming out on you. Kick. Got one kind of trying to escape on me. Woo! Uh-oh, we got an escapee here that we might have to try. See here, it's just falling apart. And what I've got here is more of our little sauce mixture here. What we're going to do is just kind of base the top of it. We're going to do this a couple times over the last hour. You can see that the bark is good on there. This one here is, if I was to grab one of these bones, I bet it would just come right out. Our taste tester said it is excellent. So we're going to go ahead and finish getting these basted up. And next scene will be us plating these baby back ribs.
Here we are, we're about ready to plate up our baby back ribs. Now this, when you cook on the smoker, it's an all-day process. We've spent 6 hours today on these baby back ribs. Achilles has spent 6 hours on his pinto beans over there, so let's put it all together. Now Achilles also has got some toast to go together, so what we're going to do is get this all on a plate. So Achilles, go ahead and put a couple pieces of toast. What we have here, I'm going to go right from the middle. Again, my biggest message for Two Dudes Cafe is get out there and cook with your kids. Cooking is a dying art. If you look here, we've got some baby back ribs. It's falling off the bone. Achilles special pinto beans. You can put your barbecue sauce on here if you would like. We kind of like ours a little bit sticky, but not so sloppy you need a bath. And here we are, a couple pieces of toast. Again, this is Achilles. I'm Jeremy. My wife Krista's behind the camera. The third dude, Jasper, right here. One day, again, go cook with your kids. Get out there, get something good on a plate and enjoy it. For Achilles and me, Jeremy, signing out, Two Dudes Cafe.